Hello, and welcome once again to the Dental Marketing Mastery Series. This podcast is brought to you by dentalwebcontent.com and New Patients Incorporated. I'm Howie Horrocks, the founder of New Patients Incorporated. Along with me once again is my friend and partner and the president of New Patients Incorporated, Mark Dilatush.
Well, hello everyone. This is Mark Dilatush. Welcome to podcast number 9463. Actually, no, it's 52, I think. Welcome, Howie. Howie's on the other end of this line.
Yeah. Hi. This is kind of a switch.
This is an absolute switch. We had someone send us a response to the podcasts, and it says, "I want to hear more from Howie. Mark never shuts up."
What that poor guy doesn't know is that that's intentional.
Well.
I don't want to inflict myself too heavily on people.
No. That's not true. So this podcast is going to be mostly Howie and mostly his definite forte, his swing zone, it's all content, it's copywriting, it's being able to communicate the benefits of dentistry, to mom in such a way that you don't bore the hell out of her and you do interest her enough to dial 7 numbers or log on to the office's website and schedule her first appointment from there. So today's title is if your best foot forward is your offer, you have no feet. And when we say that to people, they kind of look at us like, well, if I don't offer something, if I don't give them a deal, if I don't look as desperate or as nice as the other dentists in my market who are advertising their services, what do I say? And how do I say it? Like, what's interesting about me, the dentist? So that's what this podcast is about. And Howie?
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Well, yeah, but don't go away.
I'm not going away.
I need your commentary as well. Anyway, yeah, Mark's right. That's a very good way to put it. Dentists often are the most concerned about their offer when we're doing any kind of promotion, be it radio or on their website or direct mail or anything like that. They become very concerned about, is $500 off of Invisalign too much or too little? And they have this anxiety around the whole subject. And it's kind of, I don't want to say I'm chuckling at them. I mean, I understand why. It is an important subject, but it is actually the least important thing about any kind of promotional message you're sending out. Now, let's clarify something. Offers are made to one or both halves of the market. Okay, if you're promoting to the bottom half of the market, that is to women or moms who will choose a healthcare provider for their family based on price, then you're going to make some offers. That's how you reach that. That's how you get the phones to ring from the market that we've called the bottom half of the market. Now, if you're going for the top half of the market, which is more lucrative and more remunerative than the bottom half, then you still have offers, but they change in the way they're presented. The content of them change. They're completely different than any offers that you offer to the bottom half of the market. Okay, so basically, any dentist who has this anxiety about offers, I tell them, look, we want to make some kind of an offer, either a top half offer or a bottom half offer, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing about the mailer or the radio spots or anything is, giving people multiple reasons to choose you, as opposed to just one, like, $100 off exam on a postcard. That's just one reason to choose somebody. It doesn't cover the multitude of other reasons. that a person could have for choosing a dentist. And we want to get those reasons in front of the dental consumer in a language that communicates to them, a patient-friendly language. So that has been our effort over the years, and that's what we mean by saying, if you think your offer is the most important foot forward, the best foot forward you can do, then you're really not standing on anything. You have no foundation to reach and communicate with the dental consumer.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw something in here, Howie, and that is, we've heard countless, hundreds of times that dentists don't particularly like what we do, our designs or copy or what have you. And you had mentioned something, it has to be made in such a way that it resonates with the consumer. And a special note I would caution folks is, it's not made for a dentist or an office manager of a dentist or a wife or a spouse of a dentist.
Yeah, wrong target market.
Wrong target market. Actually, it's in most cases, it's the exact wrong target market, right?
Yeah.
So I just didn't want you to hide that. That was a very important point. It has to be words arranged in such a way that it resonates with the dead center, the middle of the group of women that you're speaking to.
Right. And much of this involves or revolves around a concept that we've come to call features versus benefits. Okay. A feature is an aspect of something, like we have CEREC technology in our practice.
Big picture of a machine.
Yeah. That's a feature. Right. To the dental consumer, they're going, okay, what's a CEREC and what's it got to do with me? And what will it do for me? That's what they're asking.
Well, actually, they're mispronouncing CEREC terribly.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
There you go.
Go ahead, Howie. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So you have to give the dental consumer the other side of the equation, which is the benefit, which is what will it do for somebody. Another way to look at a benefit is it's simply a solution to a problem that the dental consumer might have. So, for example, sticking with the CEREC example, there are tons of benefits with that. That allows you to do same-day dentistry, for one thing. The patient's in the exam chair and got a bib on and has already made arrangements to take care of her kids, and she's there. We can take care of that for you today. Would you like to do that? It's a great way to, it's a great revenue builder right there. So you can do that sort of thing with a CEREC because the restoration can be done in a single visit. Yeah,
the benefit to the patient is one visit.
Yeah, get it all done. I don't have to come down here again a second time.
Right.
Yeah, a tremendous benefit there. We would probably put that in the category of convenience. Way more convenient for the patient.
Yep.
So anyway, that if you can figure out, here's another tip too. We just got through with the Dental Town meeting, so dental shows have been on my mind. Not good meeting, by the way. It was great to meet up with a lot of old friends. Anyway, say you're at a dental meeting and you're contemplating the purchase of a whiz-bang new gizmo. Okay, a dental toy, something that will just save you lots of time and make your life easier as a dentist. And you're contemplating putting your credit card down. Here's what I urge you to ask yourself. In addition to what is that thing, whatever it is, going to do for you, also ask, what is the benefit to the patient? Okay, because ultimately, if the patients don't see any benefit in it, they're not going to want it, they're not going to ask for it, and any kind of promotion of this new technology is going to fall dead, because if there's no immediately identifiable benefit to the patient, they just won't care about it. Okay?
Right.
So let me give you an example. Intraoral camera, they've been around forever. and when they first came out, my thought was, well, you know, or the dentist would call me and say, "What do you think about this?" And I say, and they'd tell me, "Well, I can save more time, and it's easier to show the patient what's going on in their mouth, and on and on, all kinds of dentist benefits, including a real big one, which is I can diagnose more dentistry, right?" So, and I'm thinking, well, what's this mean for your patient? Think about that. Work it out in your mind. And eventually, you will arrive at the fact that it benefits the patient because one thing that patients have trouble with is trust. They don't know if you're diagnosing correctly or too much or too little. They want to know. And an intraoral camera is a great way to show them that your diagnosis is just exactly what you said it is.
You can show them what you see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit to the patient, is now I can trust it. Because a lot of times a patient will go, God, if it's, you know, you can find tiny little cracks with that thing. Well, you know, can't we just leave it till next time if it's so tiny, you know? And they'll balk at the whole idea of being able to, you know, find problems before they get real big.
That's when the magnification of those intraoral cameras went way up. You could make any crack look like the Grand Canyon.
Like the Grand Canyon, exactly. So they now trust you more. And
Right.
believe me, trust is a major requirement that any dental consumer is going to have in order for them to use you as their dental provider. So anyway,
now what if you wanted, let's say, a website or a mailer? Let's say you had plenty of room, like a trifold or a magazine mailer. Let's say you had plenty of room. Would you tell the whole story
of the practice
about each benefit? Would you how would you arrange the content? Because in everything, marketing, the space costs money.
Yeah.
Right.
Real estate. Yep.
If you're doing radio advertising, man, those 30 or 60 seconds cost you dearly. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you have a website, and I'm sure you have a web developer, and you add a whole bunch of pages, or let's say landing pages for some PPC or PPI ads, all that stuff costs money. Okay. So if you had your way and you were going to use one of these avenues to promote the practice as a whole, how would you prioritize and arrange the content that you would use?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Those of you who remember our marketable attributes check sheet or checklist, you might recall that those marketable attributes came from a consumer research study that we commissioned, and they are the top marketable attributes, things to say about your practice. So you can take that and put that into your design. And lead off with 7 or 8 of these kind of things in a magazine or a trifold presentation. And basically it dawned on me many years ago that what we needed to do was to make our content easily digestible by the dental consumer. Okay, what dental consumers will balk at, what any consumer of any media really will balk at, is a solid wall of copy or a whole bunch of meaningless pictures with very little description. So there has to be a happy medium arrived at there where you can present the benefit in a sort of a bite-sized vignette, kind of like the old, or not the old, the USA Today magazine. When that came out, or newspaper, actually, it's not a magazine. When that came out in 1974 or something like it was revolutionary because it took, for one thing, it had color. That was unheard of in the newspaper world. And another thing, they were sold in little boxes on the street corner that looked like TV sets because, they were competing with television at that point for news consumers. So they wanted to have a way to get to those consumers quickly and easily. So their format was, let's present a main topic, a headline, and then let's write a little bit about it. And then they have to turn, to the inside of the magazine to get the rest of the story.
Right. More on page 23.
Exactly, which exposed them to more advertising. It was pretty ingenious back in the day. But the same concept, I took a look at that and I said, we need to do that with our mailers at the time. We also need to do it with radio and any other medium. And that's presented in small bite-sized chunks with headlines that grab mom's attention.
Like teasers.
Teasers, right?
Right.
And the theory is, even if they just scan a few of the teasers, if they're good enough teasers, they might get the consumer to read the copy underneath and then eventually go to your website to get more information.
Let me interject something here. A teaser is not the laundry list of pain you probably design on your postcards. I'm talking to the audience right now.
Right.
Okay. If you have advertising on your postcards or your mailers or your website and it says root canals, dentures, extractions, it's just like a bullet list with little arrows next to each one. That's not what Howie's talking about.
Right. Yeah. Well, for example, say you offer the NTI treatment, migraine relief treatment in your practice. And, we came up with this headline, do you sometimes feel headachy? Well, headachy isn't even a word. And, my English Comp 101 professor in college would roll her eyes at some of the words that we put out. But we're not writing an essay. We're not writing a clinical piece. We're writing advertising.
Yep.
Advertising's job is not to educate so much as it is to attract. We just want to attract them. And headachy communicates to migraine sufferers who the vast majority of them are women. They feel headachy. Right. So if they see that as a headline, they're going to read the box of copy that is associated with it. And that's just one example of communicating on their level, things that they're concerned about. Another example, if you offer MAD devices for snoring, she may not snore, but her husband might. Is snoring keeping you awake up at night? Right. It's keeping her up. It's not keeping her husband up. He's snoring away. So these kind of copy tricks, if you want to call them that, or copy technology is what we've been attempting to do and help our clients do for many, many years now. And judging by their success, we've had a real good run. It's been very successful for our clients.
Yeah, it's funny, we work with highly evolved, highly educated, high IQ humans as clients, dentists, and in our work we speak in an 8th grade level.
Yeah.
Right. We communicate at an 8th grade level. And a lot of times that gets called into question, for obvious and understandable reasons. We have highly educated human beings questioning why we're communicating at an 8th grade level to the people they're trying to attract to their practice. And The answer is because that's how you have to do it.
Yeah. The answer is because you're not marketing to dentists.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Unless you're Frank Spear, and then okay, go ahead. But if you need actual real people into your practice, you have to speak on their level.
Well, Howie, I'm real glad you had this shot. I think every once in a while we ought to give you more of an opportunity.
Oh, you mean take the leash off me or something?
Yeah, take the leash off. Yeah, people think there's a leash on you. That's amazing. But I hope this helps everybody out there in our podcast land. If you have any content questions or having a hard time trying to fit what you want to say into a tiny little space, right, Howie?
Yeah.
That's such a fight, right?
That's the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, reach out to us. We have a really pretty good little group going. It's a Dental Marketing Mastery group on Facebook. Just look for us and ask to become a member. It's real easy. and join in on the discussion, because every week there we post a podcast. The whole group, well, at least we assume the whole group has an opportunity to listen to them, and then we start a discussion about them. So come join the group. Well, thank you, Howie.
Yeah, thank you, Mark, and thank you to our listeners.
Yes, we will. We'll see you next week.
We hope you've enjoyed our podcast today. You can find more podcasts on our YouTube channel, on Stitcher, and iTunes. Also on our websites, dentalwebcontent.com and newpatientsinc.com.